Hi everybody, this is Judy Parcell, and I thought with this project I would have a little fun with you. I'm going to make what they call fake handmade paper. I'm going to use a little bit of tea. I've already made my tea from this, it's all dried out, and some geranium petals, and some threads. These are old threads. They're from my grandmother's sewing basket. So I got a red one, a blue one, and I think a black one in there. And then down below here, not showing you this, is a piece of tracing paper. Now why I like this is I can see it's translucent. I can see through it. It's also sturdy enough to take what I'm going to do to it. Now, this napkin that I got it from Dollar General. It's very pretty. That's the napkins this year. But I am going to separate it out. You know how these napkins separate. And I'm going to, if I can get this started, I'm going to just use the white part of it, the backing, and save the other part for another project. So this takes a while to do. If I can get this separated. I'm going to stop a minute and work on this, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so here is what I was trying to do, is separate the printed part away from the backing. So this is a 2-ply napkin. Some of them are 3-ply, but these are not. So I'm going to separate this out. And this tissue is just about as delicate as gift wrap tissue, or even toilet tissue, just very delicate. So you have to be kind of go smooth with it, because this white part is critical in what we're going to be doing. So I think I just about got this separated. Uh-oh, it tore. But not in a bad way. Okay, let me get that. Alright, there we go. Now I found the best way to separate these is to go to the see the perforation? You try to separate it there, it's very difficult. So you go where it's not perforated and it works better. Just a little tip. Anyway, this is going to be critical, because this is going to hold the tea and the flower leaves in place, and you'll to the whole composition. Anyway, let me move all this out. No rush on that. I'll put that to the side. And the first thing I do is I just go ahead and paint. Do this on this. It'll stick to this if I do it this way. I'm using a canvas that's covered with garbage bag, kitchen garbage bag, so it doesn't stick to my table when it dries. Anyway, I just stroke this whole thing with this glue, and I mix my glue, 1 part glue to 1 part water, because you want this to be kind of sloppy. You see some of the tea from another project I did already on the paper. That's what those black spots are. So there must have been some tea in my brush. You want to get this all the way out to the end. Make sure that it's all the way out to the end. Okay. All right. Now this is a little bigger than the camera, but what I'm going to do is, now that it's all glued, I'm going to sprinkle on some geraniums. Now these geranium petals, I was getting ready to throw them out because, and then I thought, well, why don't I incorporate them in my project? And now we're going to lay one of the threads on. Just kind of make it go different directions. You got lots of time to play because this is going to be wet for a while. Don't have to worry. So this one's a green one, that one's a blue one. This is a red one. There we go. Come on. Come on, come on. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of spent tea on this. You see how fast that went? This is when you take the backside of the napkin and you place it right on top of your collage here. And what our aim is here on this part of the project is to get the bubbles out. The first thing I do is with my fingers, I press everything down. You have to be careful not to tear this, but if it does, I'll show you how to repair the tear. How's that? Okay, so then we come in again with the glue, and you just dab it. Because this paper is getting very fragile at this point, and it will tear on you. And we want to get as many bubbles out as we can. Some of it you can brush it out if you feel safe enough to do that. Okay. If it gets too dry, load it up with glue. When this glue dries, everything is going to show through. It's not going to block the beauty of what you've created. You know, I'm off the screen, I'm sure, right now, but all I'm doing is making sure that there are no bubbles. Now, sometimes to get in, I found if I just turn my brush on the side, it works better. And if you get bubbles that won't go out, put a hole in them. A little tiny hole, and then push. But this is being very cooperative. I did one earlier today, and it wasn't quite this cooperative. I mean, it turned out okay, but you know, I think you're seeing this. And I am running into the sun now, so I can't make this go much longer. Sometimes just brushing gently will also help you with that. The wonderful thing about the geraniums is even after they dry, they maintain their color. The other thing I wanted to tell you to do is to be darn sure that your glue, that you spread it out all the way, like to the edge. You don't want the napkin backing to be loose. So be sure you do all your tail end parts of that. Take your time, no big rush. And I'm going to stop this for now because the light's starting to creep across the table and it'll really distort the image I'm doing for you. So I'll join you in a bit. Hi, I'm back, and the sun is kind of mellowed out a little bit, and my project is dry, and I decided that I would show you the rest of the cleanup on it. And I just take, here's the tracing paper here, and then this was the backing of the napkin. So all I have to do is take a pair of scissors and cut along the hard part and just cut that excess off. And believe you me, you can see it better than we can here on the camera, but okay. Oh, yeah, okay. When I hold it up off the table, I can see the difference. So this is a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, this tracing paper, which can be, for me, can be a greeting card. So I'm going to cut this, finish cutting this for you. And there we have it. We'll get rid of the scraps. And there we have the finished product. Now you can hold it up, you see your hand through it, see the translucency, and you can cut this out, say, I saw one person take and cut out a heart, and then they mounted this on a card, and you could do different shapes with it. They put it in their scrapbook. I'm not a scrapbooker, but I love a lot of the techniques scrapbookers use. I want my art out there for people to see and enjoy, and I figure if it's packed in a scrapbook, nobody's going to ever see it. But a card, it's just my personal philosophy, but a card is out there for people to enjoy. And maybe if it's nice enough, they'll save it. Anyway, what do I want to do with this? Well, I think you know. I'm going to make a card out of it. And I'll let you know how that turned out. I had another one that I did, and I don't know if I showed you this. This is that same method, but I took a portion of the napkin and I made a card out of that, and I thought that was very different. Just with the upper part of the napkin that I didn't use. So I could probably do that with this one if I wanted to. Cutting out a portion of it and gluing it on. I don't know if it would do as well here, because this is pretty strong. This was kind of, the reason I did this is, this was kind of bland, and I just needed something to make it pop, and that worked for that. But if I did it again on this, it might not be the same, because see how much better the colors pop out just using the geranium petals. So doing the napkin might be a little bit of overkill. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me in my studio, and you might want to try this. It's not that difficult. And you can make a card for somebody, or you can put it in your scrapbook, and it doesn't take long to do it all. I think this dried in 2 hours for me. You take care. I'll see you in the next lesson.